Yes, so I've decided to make a series of videos showing me restoring and customizing these two bicycles here. These are Schwinn Stingray Chopper pedal bikes. And normally I'll buy a car, a good car, but a broken car, and I'll fix it up and I'll sell it on to a new driver. But this week I couldn't find any good cars, so I decided to buy a chopper pedal bike to restore. And when I was looking for the address of the guy that had this bike, I noticed another one, this one here, which is a touch different, about 15 minutes away from this one. So I decided to buy them both on the same day, and I'm kind of happy that I did, because these bikes are just a little bit different. Not all of these are the same. The two major differences between these two bicycles is in the front here. This bicycle has kind of like high handlebars, but I know these are Stingray handlebars because I've seen them on the OCC Stingray choppers. And then this one has short handlebars. They're just flat here, but these are also stock handlebars. They come with the bike. Now the other difference between these two bicycles is that this one has front brakes, or I should say it should have front brakes. And I see the stems here for the brake caliper. I guess they call them calipers. And then this is a chunk of the caliper broken off. So the bolt is still in there. And I know that this bike had front brakes. The cable's missing. The lever's missing. But it's got rear brakes. They don't work. But we'll get to that later. And this bike, as opposed to having front brakes, this bike has these cool pedals, or I guess pegs, that fold up and down, and they're really cool. So I'm happy that I didn't get one of these bikes, because there's bikes out there that don't have the pegs and they don't have front brakes, they're just plain. And also I see a lot of them without fenders, with the fenders missing. So these two bikes are pretty much complete, just beside the fact that this one's missing its front brakes. It's a complete an original bicycle. The both of them are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these bikes individually up on the stand, and we're going to have a really good look at each one, and I'm going to talk about what it is that I'm going to do to the bikes based on what we see as far as rust and broken parts and things like that. So let's get to putting bike number one on the stand. Okay, here's bike number one on the stand, and we're going to go through this bike kind of detailed. I've got an extra little flashlight, and so we're going to start from the front and go to the back and just see what it is that we notice. So up here, the very first thing that we're going to see on bike number one is that it's a solid bike if you just look at it. It's really solid, but there's a lot of little problems here. There's a lot of things that are going to need to be addressed. So now right here at the top in the front, these are some old Harrow grips that are all ripped to pieces. So obviously that's going to have to go, and I'm going to get new grips. This brake lever, it looks really badly scuffed, and there's something going on here. Now I'm a car person, I know a lot about cars mechanically, but I don't really know a lot about bikes. So if I look at this, a bike person would know why it's doing this, but I don't. So we'll have to have a closer look. And also there's a spring sticking out here. And you don't have to be a bike mechanic to see that there's something wrong with this. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up replacing these levers altogether, if not the entire brake system. Next thing you notice here, every bolt's got a lot of rust on it, but I don't think that'll be too hard. I think some Coca-Cola might be able to get that all out. And if you look in here, I see other bolts. They're slightly rusted. This is not bad rust. It's not damaging, although it is damaging here on the handlebars. It's light rust. I wouldn't say that it's heavy rust. It's light rust, but it's been there for so long that it's eating away the chrome. There's all these little pieces. of chrome that seem to be eaten away. So when we take the rust off of here, we're going to find out if we have to do something. I refuse to take anything to chrome, so we would have to do something else, such as some kind of paint or some kind of like an anodized effect. Now we're looking still at the fork, a little bit of rust, nothing bad here. We've got this side of this bracket is rather rusted out, but I don't think that'll be a problem. And this side looks a lot better. This fender looks good. It's not too messed up. It's just got the scuff here, but it doesn't look like a dent. There's no dents in these fenders, the whole bike. Now, another depressing thing about this particular bicycle is that if you look at it, I'm going to try to focus in on this because it's tough to see. There we go. The tires are cracked. See the crack? Crack, 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 crack. And then we go to the side, and all that's cracked up too. Look at these cracks. Really, 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 the entire tire is like this. But as far as the hub seems to be moving rather easily, a little bit dirty back there. These axle nuts are all going to have to come off because most of them are crushed. The tip is crushed on them. But as far as the front is concerned, pretty good. I've got the brake here, the old brake. It's just a little piece stuffed in there, and then I've just got the stem here. But the if you can see in there, the threads are wonderful. They just look perfect, so I'm not that worried about it. So we'll definitely need a front tire. We'll definitely need something for this entire front brake. We're going to need to do something clever about this handlebar. I think that I'm going to change this handlebar to a higher rise handlebar, so this might not be such a big deal to me. So now moving on, let's go to the other side of the bike here. Moving on. These logos in the front, they're really, really thick plastic, and both of them are in absolutely perfect condition on both of these bikes, so I'm really happy about that. They're totally sharp and totally undamaged. Now we look here, we got some little rusting scuffs, more rusting hardware. But if you look at this paint job, the paint job is rather good. It's got scuffs and it's just used. I mean, it's obviously never been waxed. Maybe it's been washed a couple times, but it's not bad paint. There's no like huge pits or like this kind of stuff here is just the it's just the sticker. It's like one big sticker. It goes over. It looks like flames, but the stickers are destroyed. So all the stickers are going to have to come off. Let's move down a bit. Pedals, absolutely perfect condition. The cranks have a little bit of rust. This side has a little bit. The other side has so much. So let's go to the other side real quick and have a look-see at this crank. It's totally rusted out. This is chrome missing. This, I can just flake it off. So once again, I'm not taking anything to chrome, so we're going to have to be clever about what we do to this. And moving back just a little bit more, we see that the stickers on both of these bikes, they're a little touch different. This one has silver flames here. The other one has orange flames. The other one doesn't seem to have this sticker. It doesn't seem to have ever been there, unless somebody did a really good job of taking it off. Now we see here, I think that this tells you what the date is. If I try to focus on here, there we go. It says, let me try to get that light shine out of the way. Oh, it's kind of sort of working. I hope that we got that. And it tells you the model and it tells you the date here, it says. So that's cool. So we'll be able to tell what the date is on both of these bicycles. Now we're going to look here. Here's this is the inside of the chain guard. Really, really thick rust. But I don't think that it ate the chrome. Maybe here I see a lot of really big changes in the texture. But when we get to it, when we take this bicycle apart, we'll be able to see how everything is going to go here. You know, more rusted hardware here. This doesn't look bad at all. This looks bad to me. This rust here on this crank, it's not good. And then we go back, a little bit more rusted hardware. I mean, I'm going to have a time getting rust off of all of these little pieces. This is my little light. This is a cool light, but it doesn't seem to be working for this video. The seat and the seat post is a thing for me because I don't quite fit on this bike. I'm a little bit too tall for this bike. So there's a solution that I found where they take the pole, or they make their own pole, and it comes up and then it twists backwards this way. It doesn't twist, it bends backwards this way, so it makes the seat sit back further. Now, if I look at the seat, I notice that it's welded in here. I mean, this isn't like a normal seat where it's just got something there with a clamp that you push. I mean, this is part of the seat. So I don't know about changing the seat. I wanted to keep the original seats themselves, even though I'll have to upholster them. And the reason why we have to upholster them is because of things like this. So this little crack here. I'm going to try to focus on the seat. There we go. There's like a rip here. And this wouldn't be a big deal. I'll be able to fix this. And then up here there's another one. But that's not a big deal. I would be able to fix this. I could make this look really nice. But the only problem is there's this big insignia here, and we've got a big crack here. I can't fix that. We got a little crack here. I can't fix that. And we got all these tiny little cracks here. I can't fix them. I could fix them, but I wouldn't be able to make this look the way it's supposed to again. I just know how to do the basic repairs. So this seat is garbage as far as I'm concerned. I was going to reupholster it. I was going to rip all this off and put some some other kind of thing. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet, and keep all of this, but I'm going to opt for the solution for this to change, so I believe that I'm going to have to change the entire seat. Once again, rusted hardware. This fender looks great. Once again, the stickers are all messed up, but nobody cares about that because I'm ripping all the stickers off. And I don't see anything really wrong with this that a nice sanding isn't going to take care of. There's no dents in them whatsoever, and that's really, really cool. So here's the rear brakes. And on this bicycle, the brakes don't work at all. If we look over here, it won't even grab it here because this is stuck. But if I put this in here, then it won't go backwards. It's just totally not doing anything. But it is doing something, because these brakes are riding on this wheel. If I just try to spin this wheel, then what you'll see is that it doesn't just spin. These brakes are totally riding on this, and the brake pads are beat. If you can see that, they're pretty much beat. Let's try to get this light out and have a look-see. And on the other side too. And they're wearing unevenly. They don't even look even anymore. They just look like they've been beaten up. So obviously those are going to have to change. And also we're going to have a look at this tire. This tire is pretty sad as well. Just not as sad as the one in the front. The treads are really not good at all. If you look at it from this angle, it'll show you how low the treads really are. It's almost nothing. It's almost nothing at all. But this bike has cracks on the back tire as well as the front tire. Let me turn this light off, and we can get to looking at this crack here. Oh, I guess we do need the light. Just trying to figure this out. All right, check it out. Big crack. It doesn't go along the whole tire, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything. This tire is smoked. So we're gonna have to get a new tire for the front and for the rear. And I'm thinking white wall. And the reason I'm thinking white wall instead of doing stock tires is because the other bike number 2 over here, has pretty fantastic stock tires on it. So I'm just going to keep it that way. Now back to this bike number 1. All the reflectors, they look really good. They're perfect. They don't have little like chips, or they're not broken. You know, it just seems like the design of this bike protects them from, you know, when you drop the bike down, it'll crack this off, and that's like a common thing that you see on bikes, but you don't see them on this bike or on the other bike. They're really good. All you see is that just all the hardware is rusted, so everything is loose. It's there, you know, but it's just loose. So I'm not concerned with that. Just beside the fact that every piece of hardware here is like totally rusted. I'm gonna have to do a lot of rust stuff. Maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe I won't. Now you look inside there, you see rust, rust, rust. And this is what I was talking about here. These the axle nuts, they're smashed, a lot of them. So you know, I'm getting brand new ones, all nice looking. And you'll notice here that the brake cable is just chopped here. It's just cut off right here. So and when I pull on this, I can feel it pulling. There's some resistance here. So it's applying the brakes right now and holding back this rear wheel. But if I play with the brakes a little bit, the wheel goes nicely. And then something else I noticed about this bike that I thought was really strange is that this rear wheel has a spot in it where they put it together, and it's not welded together. I'm not really sure how they do these. You know, like I said, I don't know that much about bicycles, but this side is higher than this side. This side is like lower down, and this side is up a touch when you run your finger along here. Over here it seems pretty even, but still that there's obvious difference between the two sides, and I figured that it should be the same. And I'm curious if this wheel is even really round, and that might have something to do with these brakes just grabbing this wheel. So this is, I think that's it. Oh, kickstand. Kickstand, you got to see the kickstand. These things are cool. It just picks up the whole bike. Like it's so nice. It's not like a bicycle kickstand. I like these ones a lot better. But check out the rust once again. I mean, I'm just gonna have to have like a bucket of Coca-Cola and taking the rust off of this here bike. So I think that's it. I think that's all we got here. Yeah, I would say that's it. All right, so that's this bike. I took a nice close look to it, and we're going to then put bike number 2 on the stand. We're going to take this one off and put bike number 2 on the stand and do the exact same thing. Just look over that bike, because there's some differences about it, and the tires are awesome condition, and the brakes actually work. So we'll see you on that one. Thanks.